By a raise of hands, how many of you know what vaping is? For those of you who do not know what vaping is the act of inhaling water vapor through an electronic cigarette, hookah pens, vape mods, and much more. But the most common form of vaping is through an electronic cigarette, or also known as e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes are not an alternative way to stop smoking or a habit to create. By a raise of hands, how many have smoked a cigarette or an e-cigarette before? For a few weeks now, I've been able to do some research about electronic cigarettes and talk to some friends that have used them before or still use them today. But first, I would like to talk about the basic functions of an electronic cigarette and how they are expensive, the products that are contained within them, and the health risks that can occur from using them, and then the solution to help reduce the use of electronic cigarettes by participating in an event to help educate others about electronic cigarettes. But first, the basic functions of an electronic cigarette. Electronic cigarettes are battery-operated devices that heat up electronic liquid from cartridges that then release a chemical-filled aerosol, and then the user inhales through a cigarette-looking mouthpiece, which then the airflow triggers an atomizer, and then it vaporizes the liquid of nicotine into a small cartridge, which then at the bottom of the electronic cigarette will turn on an LED light, which then when the user inhales, a puff of vapor will reach their lungs just like a traditional cigarette would, and then once they exhale, water vapor will appear in the air and then disappear just like a cigarette would as well. And they're very expensive depending on what kind of electronic cigarette someone was looking to get, but they require batteries and a charger. This is an example of one where you put the batteries in here and you plug it into the wall. And also for an electronic cigarette to work, you have to buy liquid, which is called e-liquid, and according to Eliza Gray in a magazine, she states that e-liquid can cost up to $30 or more depending on the milliliter of bottle that someone may want. But in order to use the electronic cigarette, you have to keep buying more liquid. And the products there are many unknown chemicals contained within electronic cigarettes and nicotine as well. And the liquid is made from extracting nicotine from tobacco, which is usually mixed with a base called propylene glycol. And e-liquid comes in many different flavors, but nicotine is very addictive, and you are potentially becoming known as an addict. And according to the American Lung Association, newer e-cigarette devices, especially tank styles with higher voltage, also deliver a greater concentration of nicotine. And you're also inhaling cancer-causing chemicals like formaldehyde. And some health complications you can have are like with brain development, like your memory. It can cause behavioral impairments. It can also affect your lung, your heart, your circulatory system, and you're at a higher and greater risk of developing cancer. And also you can receive popcorn lung. And in 2004, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, reported several cases of bronchiolitis obliterans, which in workers that worked in a microwave plant. Bronchiolitis obliterans is a serious, irreversible condition that tiny air sacs in your lungs scar up, causing shortness of breath and nonstop coughing. Other symptoms are listed here as well. And the workers were believed to get this condition from a flavoring agent called diacetyl, which actually gives the buttery taste to popcorn. And in a study published in 2015 in the journal Environmental Health Perspectives showed harmful chemicals associated with popcorn lung are present in e-cigarette flavors like fruit and candy that appeal to many young smokers. How the use of electronic cigarettes can be reduced is by educating more people about the health risks and how it can affect them. And by doing so, you can participate in an upcoming event to help educate other students and other people around us from using them. And according to Sally Sattel, a journalist for National Review, claims e-cigarettes are not harmful due to small amounts of chemicals within them. However, you are still inhaling chemicals. You should not be inhaling anything else other than what we need to survive. And in conclusion, I hope everyone understands the importance of staying away from electronic cigarettes because they are expensive, they have harmful and many unknown chemicals contained within them, and it can affect your health. BioRacer fans, how many of you would like to participate in the event to help educate others about electronic cigarettes? You can make a difference by not allowing yourself and others to be affected by these devices.